We're at East Staff's Flying Club in Tatenhill, and we're here this evening on a lovely sunny evening, a little bit windy, but there are a lot of small aeroplanes here. So there is a gentleman here called Martin who's going to tell us why they are here. Martin.
Hello there. Yeah, I'm Martin Lilly. I'm secretary of the Model Club. We're called Derbyshire Radio Control Flyers, and we fly from Ashbourne Airfield. It's an old World War II airfield. It's been deserted for quite a long time, although full-size aircraft do use it occasionally. We've got about 90 members, going in age from about 12, I think, up to nearly 85. Quite a lot of us are retired, so we get a lot of time to spend up at the airfield. We fly all kinds of aircraft, from jet fighters right down to biplanes and smaller trainers. We've got a trainer with us today, and that's something that we can fly with what we call a buddy lead. And a buddy lead allows you to control the plane with the instructor, and you also can have the trainee connected to it with a wire, so that the instructor can pass over the control to the pupil, and if the pupil gets into trouble, as is often the case, he can recover the model fairly quickly.
Oh, and you've promised me a go.
I've promised you a go, and we'll certainly let you have a go, yes.
Martin is going to take me up on a buddy box system, and I'm going to be flying this electric trainer, and hopefully I won't crash it for him.
So this is going to be the transmitter that we'll use for the pupil, and as you can see, there's a wire in the back of that, and if you could just hang on to the transmitter there for me. This wire goes into an equivalent socket in the back of the master transmitter. So that one should now have fired up.
Right.
And that's getting its power from this one.
Okay.
And when I flip this switch, that one, you take over. When I release, I get the controls back. Pleasure.
Right.
You did very well indeed.
Well, that's good. Right.
You've done this before, I suspect.
Now I've got to show you something. Okay. I actually am an instructor.
Right.
And I do fly
Right.
fadly. So yes, you're quite right. I've done it before. Can you introduce yourself? What's your name?
Patrick there.
Right. And what's your position in the club here?
I'm the chairman of Derbyshire Radio Control Flyers, and I've been for a long time. Nobody seems to want to take the job off me.
That's true with chairmen.
Yeah. I think I've been chairman for 28, maybe 29 years. It's a bit long, you know. But there we are, I keep at it. Yes. And the club's come on pretty well since I've been there, so quite pleased with that.
Some people say that models are toys. Now, are they as easy to fly as the full-size aircraft or harder?
Harder.
They're harder?
Both.
Tell me why.
Well, you're not in it to start with. When you're flying a model, it takes away from you. If you want to go left, you move the sticks to the left, and the model goes to the left. When it's coming towards you, and the model's going to the left, you've got to put right in.
Oops, yes. Okay.
You're not in it. When you're coming down to land, you've got no instruments to tell you what speed you're doing. All you can do is look at the model, look at the way it sits in the air, and that's your way in.
Right, so it's hand-eye contact rather than your bum on the seat.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Difficult then. Yes. Right. So what's this called?
This is a Fairchild PT19, a primary trainer, PT19, PT primary trainer. And this is a 26% model of a full size. The full size of this particular one was used in Nova Scotia in Canada during the war. When the Nazis moved into Norway, the guys that went fishing, they went over there and became minesweeper men and whatever, joined the Navy. The pilots went over to Canada, and whether they purchased these off the Americans or the Americans gave them, we don't know. But they flew PT-19s as primary trainers and learnt to fly. Then they came over to England and became bomber pilots and fighter pilots and went and fought the Nazis. And this emblem here, when I first started on this, I couldn't make out what it is. It's getting a bit tatty now, but it's a Viking with his spear. Norwegian, and it's got L on the back, because this place where they had these in Newfoundland was called Little Norway. And this is in the full size is in a museum in Norway.
And how long have you had this one?
6 or 7 years.
Did you build this?
Yes.
Oh, you built this
from scratch.
From scratch.
Yeah.
From scratch. So that's what you had a plan and you.
I had a plan, but it wasn't a very good plan. I changed the construction totally.
So what's the engine that you have in it?
It's got a 56cc petrol engine, develops 5.5 brake horsepower. It's more than enough for this type of flying.
Okay, so
it's got suspension on the undercarriage there, and everything works.
That looks really beautiful. Yeah.
Weighs 35 pounds, and I think it's 9'6" in old money. 9'6" wingspan.
Right. The CAA, Civil Aviation Authority, do they allow these smaller aircraft to fly? Is there some rules that control that?
This weighs 35 pounds, which is what, 16 kilograms. We're allowed up to 20 kilograms. Now my other models that I fly with the Dawn Patrol, one a big one, that weighs 70 pounds. So what is that in kilograms?
Wow.
But
well, it's about 30.
It's heavy, and it has to do an hour's flying, 6 flights, all witnessed by
CAA?
No, by a member of the Large Model Association, who was certified to witness my flight, and it has to be signed off. All the manoeuvres I would be doing with it, such as a loop, roll, stall turns, that's about all it will do. It's a 1916 model, and when it's signed off, I then get a certificate. I can fly it in public.
Right, so it's an airworthiness certificate?
Yes, because the aircraft is inspected through construction. All materials have to be proven that they're good for the job. The construction has to be inspected before it's covered. The console equipment has to be double, 2 receivers, 2 of everything, so if anything fails, there's a backup.
You've got a backup. Yeah. So it's really like the full size.
Oh yes. But I mean, mine weighs, say, 70 pounds. Some of them weigh 100 and
even more,
170, 180 kilo.
Wow. Yeah.
And they are big things if they went in.
Well, especially if it went into the crowd.
Yes.
Thanks very much indeed for that.